Welcome to Bite Size Canvas. I'm Helen Graves, and today we're going to take a look at overcoming the hurdle of cognitive overload for students. If the concept is not one you're familiar with yet, cognitive load refers to the amount of information our working memory can hold at any one time. Cognitive load theory was advanced by John Sweller in the late 1980s, and in it he suggested that since working memory has a limited capacity, it's important that instructional methods avoid overloading working memory with extraneous information or tasks that don't directly contribute to learning. Right on, John. There are lots of ways in which we instructors, as subject matter experts and fallible human beings, inadvertently contribute to our students' cognitive overload. For example, in our passion for the subject matter, we may include too much information beyond what students need to meet the learning objectives for that assignment or unit. Or because it's old hat to us, we might forget to break a complex topic down into manageable chunks so students can absorb it more fully. And if we assume all our students are digital natives, we may not offer directions for how to maneuver around Canvas. As you can imagine, if their brains are distracted or confused by peripheral tasks and information, students will have less cognitive space for learning the wonderful content you've labored to provide them. In an effort to reduce your cognitive load, wink wink, I won't go into a lot of theory here. Instead, I'll include a few recommended articles on the Bite-Sized webpage for those who want more details. Suffice to say that germane load is what we're striving for. This is essentially assisting students in applying the right kind of mental effort to facilitate effective learning. It happens naturally when your course is thoughtfully designed and your instructional content is presented clearly and simply. Even something as unremarkable as including labels directly on a diagram instead of in a list off to the side can make a huge difference in absorption and retention. Here are 4 simple ideas to help you develop the habit of designing your course with cognitive load in mind. Remove superfluous links from your course navigation. Unnecessary choices can be confusing, and confusion definitely contributes to cognitive overload. If you're not using collaborations, outcomes, or chat, get rid of them. And because all your content is accessible via the modules, there's no need to include files, pages, quizzes, or assignments in student navigation. On the flip side, do be sure to make important links highly visible, like a prominent Start Here button on your course homepage. Provide detailed instructions. Include everything you can think of in your instructions for discussions, assignments, and quizzes. The trick is to be both clear and concise. Let your students know exactly what you expect, how to find the grading rubric, whether multiple submissions are allowed, when and how they can find your feedback comments, etc. For learning materials like videos, websites, and PowerPoint presentations, explain how you want the student to interact with it. Yes, clearly they should watch the video, but why is this particular video important? What should they pay attention to as they watch? When will they be using the information? What may seem obvious to you won't necessarily be obvious to all your students. Incorporate helpful learning aids. Once we know something well, it can be hard to imagine what it's like to not know it. Subject matter experts, and instructors fall into that category, often leave out details they take for granted, assuming it's common knowledge. We know the material so well, we overlook including useful resources like checklists, examples, tutorials, and Canvas guides, thinking they're not necessary. To counteract the curse of knowledge, it's good to approach your content like a novice. Foster generative learning strategies. Generative strategies encourage students to take a greater level of responsibility for their learning. The query method asks students to stop and think about concepts that were just presented. For example, ask them to explain a new concept in their own words or draft a sentence using terms from a list of key ideas or vocabulary. Even if they don't submit anything, you just include the query at the end of a paragraph, section, or page. Studies have shown that the use of elaboration queries resulted in improved integration and application of knowledge. What's not to like about that? Cognitive overload happens, but with a little forethought, we can create online learning content that's easy to absorb instead of overwhelming. That's all, folks. Until next time, this is Helen, wishing you a Canvalicious day.